Hey everybody, welcome to our next video, tutorial 23, and we're going to cover teleports. Alright, so this is going to be a fun one. I'm going to start here with the empty map, because we're going to need an empty sublevel. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to create that right now. So I'm going to go up to my file, and I'm going to save current as, and I'm going to go to my mods folder here. So really quick, you know what would be a good idea is if snow transferred to display. I'm getting ahead of myself. I do apologize. All right, let's do this the correct way. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so teleports. All right, so what we're going to do is I need to save this map name, so I'm going to call this a teleport teleport 1. Okay, actually teleport Barachan. Oops, B-A-R-A-C-H-A, Barachan _1 for me. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to go to my mod folder, go to the Barachan Isles. I'm going to go to my height map folder, and I'm going to deposit it in there. Okay. Now, if you remember right, to create a new sublevel after this saves, I'll show you real quick just in case you forgot. What you want to do is go up to File, and we want to create a new level, and it's going to be an empty level. Okay. So as we save this, of course, this is the longest part, is creating one of these sub-level maps. I hate that part. It takes about 20-30 minutes. Okay. All right, so you go up to File, and just go up here and you go New Level, and then what you'll do is you'll do an empty level, and you will load it up here like this, and then you will save it where we just showed you where you save it. All right, so now let's go to our mod folder. Let's go to the Barachan Isles. Let's open up our persistent level. All right. And as it loads. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. All right. We're getting close to loading. All right. We're loaded up. And what I'm going to do is go to Windows, Levels. All right, and what we should see at the very bottom here is I got my teleport Barachan 1, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and probably leave that for now, okay, but I could always move it later, but I'm going to just leave it at where it's at. And if I open that level up, and I should do this real quick, so let's go ahead and open up Barachan 1, and let me go ahead and open up 1.0 and 1.1 real quick, what I usually work with, and then I'm going to go ahead and make this the persistent and teleport Barachan 1. Okay, so now if you go up here to the world outliner, we type bounds real quick. Remember our old bounds boxes. I'm going to look for, let's see, you got the height map 1.0. As you can see, that is kind of overlapping, and it's got a circumference of craziness because there's something I've placed where it wants to expand the bounds. Okay, I'm just going to quickly auto update the bounds. Yeah, so I got something placed in the world right now that's stretching the bounds on 1.0, okay? And I got to figure out what that is. And really quickly, I'm just going to take a look over here and see if there's an object or something I placed. Possibly. View details real quickly. Current level only. Go ahead and clear that. And see what it is that I might have placed that's causing that bounds to stretch so far apart. And let me look here, because what I need to do is make sure I'm able to show you guys. That's Barachan 1, and I opened up 1.0, so let me go to 1.0 real quick. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure, I'm just going to highlight all this, and I have a feeling, I think it might be the Mitra statue or something. There's the Mitra statue now. That is bizarre. You know what it could be. I bet you 1.0. Let me hide it real quick. Okay, that's 1.0 there. We're hiding it. All right, so 1.0 is in the correct spot, but on the bounds, I think the bounds is being stretched because I believe possibly I have something over here. These objects more likely are probably 1, 0. Okay, so that's what's stretching my bounds right now. So what I'm going to quickly do, that way I don't have this issue later. Let me go ahead and quickly move these. I do apologize. I did not know I had these kind of parked out here, and they're causing a bounds issue because we need to be able to see the bounds correctly and set up the teleports correctly. So let me move those. And I believe I just moved them. And I wonder if I had duplicates. Let me go ahead and Windows levels. Let me go ahead and save both levels real quick. And let me hide 1, 1. Okay. All right, that was weird. It's working now. All right, good. All right, let me quickly check our level balance on 1, 0. All right, so yeah, there it goes. So now we snapped correctly. See that? So now it's not dragged across so far, and it's encompassing these guys. However, I think we still have something over here that is causing an issue, and I want to make sure really quickly. And it could be, maybe it's not our character creation spot because our balance level is there, but it could be this guy. And let me go ahead and pull him over here. Yep, that's what it is. All right, so it's this little gray guy, and we'll move you. I'm just going to move him back because we really don't need him anymore, but I'm going to move him over here. And so now our bounds should be appropriately wrapping pretty close, almost. We got something here that's still causing the stretch, and I have a feeling I should probably move this little bugger here because, yep, he's on 1, 0 as well. Let's see if that fixes our bounds. There's something else here that's causing us an issue. All right, let me see here. Let me auto update just in case. One more time, let me make sure, guys. I do apologize. I didn't realize I had some things hidden there. We should be right on that tile. Yeah, it should not be overlapping that tile that far out. So there is something here, and I have a feeling it could be these guys over here, possibly. No, those are on the persistent. I gotta make sure I get this right for you guys. Otherwise, I will hate myself because I'm trying to teach you guys the correct way and not the wrong way. Okay. There we go. Maybe it's him. I forgot I have another one of these dudes. Let's see. There we go. That was our issue. Our dude up there. All right, cool. All right, so fixed our bounds. All right, so I just got to make sure those bounds are set up correctly. One more time. Make sure that this guy is set correctly for his bounds. Excellent. They're wrapping the square pretty good, wrapping the tile just right as we need it to. So awesome. Okay, so now, sorry about that. All right, so let's go ahead and Windows levels. Let's go ahead and let's unhide that. Let's go ahead and select our teleport level. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a teleport over here at this end of the island, and we're going to teleport across over to this side of this island on this tile. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's get cracking. All right, so what we need to do is we go in here into our content browser, and we're going to go up here, and we're going to go to the we're going to go to content folder, and we're going to type TELE. So TELE, and that should bring us up blueprints, and we're looking for the teleport blueprint, not the Kurok teleporter. We're looking for the teleport blueprint. And type teleport. All right. And it should be BP trigger teleport. That's the one we're looking for. All right, BP trigger teleport. Okay, I got it highlighted in yellow there. All right, so I want to make sure where I'm at. Okay, good. All right, so now what we're going to do is take that, drag it out on the map here. Okay, and we also got to make sure that it goes into our bounds box. So really quickly, there it is. It's inside our bounds. All right, so that's the size of our teleport bounds. All right. Now we have this one here, and what you can do is you can name your teleport. So you can do BP trigger teleport blase blase or whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna go ahead and underscore and go test 1. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to teleport us across the island, and then we'll teleport ourselves back. However, what we can do is, just to give you an idea what can happen here, we can also attach a door to it. So if you look here on if we have the blueprint highlighted, right? Notice how that the box extents go gray. Okay, that means we're inside here. Now we can click out of it, and then we click it back, it turns yellow. Okay, but when you go gray like this, you double click it, you go gray. That means you're actually editing in here inside the blueprint. All right, so we're going to go static mesh. We're just going to type door. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and find. I'm just going to use this wooden door mesh. Okay, and what we do is you can actually take that mesh and move it right now because we're still inside the editing of the blueprint, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of set this here for now. All right, now I clicked off it and I click back on. Notice that the door moves with the actual blueprint. Okay, when we double click it, now we can actually move the door itself if we need to adjust the door itself. Okay, so now what we need to do is the trigger box. Now if we double click on the trigger box, oops, sorry, let me slow my camera down so I don't lose us. So on the trigger box, we got it right here. So now it's yellow. Okay, and I'm pulling out the trigger box, okay? And this box is what you click on to teleport. All right, so now what we can do is you can use these box extents here, okay? And you want to use the box extents. Now I'm going to click on the door. Oops. I'm going to double click on the door. I'm going to adjust the door by 90 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and pull the door this way. All right. And I'm going to try to center it up on my blueprint as much as possible, like so, visually. Okay. And that's pretty close. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it down a little bit like that. Okay, so now on the trigger box, I highlight the trigger box, use the box extents, the X and Y. Notice how I can move the trigger. All right. And I'm going to make the trigger a little bit wider so it encompasses the door like so, using the Y extents and the X extent to thicken it like so. Okay, and then to make it taller, we use the Z. Okay, and then I can also move it up like this. Okay, so that's the trigger. So anywhere the character touches this door, and of course we want this door to be on the outside, right? So if we go in here and we hit it, it should teleport us. Now when we do set this up, and we'll get to that, you can set it up to where the player just touches the door and it'll teleport them, or they have to click on the door and it'll teleport them. Okay, so now we got this part here. Now let's just say our door is going to be stationary right here. We don't want the door to move, all right? So this is where the door is going to stay, all right? So that's where the door is going to stay. However, now the target box, this is the target extent. This is the box we need the player to go to. So I'm going to go way up like so, and these are a pain in the butt, but this is how these work. You want to make sure you're on the target box. All right, and I said we're going to teleport across the island. So I'm on the target box. I'm going to take this and drag it all the way across. Like so. And I'm going to drag it over there. And then I'm going to move my camera so I can move up here. Okay. And then I'm going to carefully adjust the box over here. Okay. And let me slow my camera down so I can get a little closer. Now the blue arrow is where the character's supposed to be facing. However, I don't think they fixed it. We'll have to figure that out when we teleport. You might have to rotate this box to get the character to face the direction you want them to. So all I was going to do is just do this and snap it. But for now, I'm going to just leave it in this direction because it may be fixed. I do not know. Now, on our box extent, we want to go ahead and we want to widen this. And with our X and Y, because if you have a few players teleporting, you want to make sure this is wide enough so they don't teleport on top of each other. And also, where you're teleporting, you also want to make sure that the yellow box, the bottom of the box, is above the terrain just slightly, so that way you don't teleport your player through the world and make him fall through the world. Okay? All right, so now that's one direction. So let's go back to our teleport door. Quickly go over our door. Okay, and what I'm going to show you now, and hopefully, let me hit save, and we're going to look at our bounds box real quick. Now, our bounty box is here. Now, our teleport target is over there, okay? So we should be able to teleport to it. However, we may need that bounds to stretch across the world to possibly work. Sometimes it does require that, depending on where you're teleporting to. Okay, so we hit play. There's our door. Now I'm going to approach the door from this side because I have it set up differently. Alright, so if we touch the door, it's going to instantly teleport us. It's going to put in the loading screen. And here we are. And I am facing... Yep, so it's facing correctly to the blue arrow. Okay, now we can't get back. Oh no. Now we touched the door. That teleported us quickly. So now what we can do on our door, okay, on our door, we can click on our door, and on our blueprint here, you have is interactable. So if we check mark the is interactable under the detail panels under our blueprint teleport trigger, okay, we should be able to now click on that and teleport us across. Now there's a couple of FFIO text, which is you enter the volcano, return the center, travel back, enter. So what you can do, these are just some basic text so the player knows, hey, so when they click on it, it should tell us to click on it and it'll say enter. So when we hit the trigger, it should say enter, okay, in a text. Now I don't know if it shows up in the editor, but it should show up in your mod. So if we go up to, oops, that was not supposed to happen. We were not supposed to teleport. Let me go back. We're not supposed to teleport like that. It's supposed to tell us and give us the option to teleport. So, use target box rotation. I'm trying to remember. Is interactable. Oh, click that on overlap. I believe that's what we got to do. It's been a while. And these have actually been fixed a couple times too, believe it or not. They've changed over the period of time. This should give us the text. Let me see. It better not allow us to teleport. There you go. All right, so that's going to give you the enter text, okay? So when we go up to it, overlap that yellow box. Boom. Now hit E, and it should teleport us, okay? Like so. There we go. Okay, so now to teleport out. So if you have a dungeon or a place you need a player to teleport back, the quickest way to do that, if it's exactly, your door is exactly where you need it to be, it's your enter and exit is going to be like this, awesome. So all you got to do is go over here and quickly, all we got to do is go control copy, come over here, go to our door, control V, edit or paste here. We can take this door, however, I'm going to have to rotate it 90 because now when we click on this door, it should be sitting next to our other door roughly close because if I have the rotation correctly, and I rotated it right. Oops, you know what? Our landing pad is in the wrong place. Let me double check. I probably put the rotation wrong. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and do this. So I got it highlighted here. Oh, that probably was what it was. However, what we can do is really quickly, we just hit the target box, click that. There we go. Yeah. So my rotation, that rotation will throw this box out of your visual range. Okay. So now what we should be able to do is hit play from here, and you can actually overlap this a little bit, just slightly. You just have to adjust it if you want to do a straight line. I'm just doing it quickly, just to side by side to show you. So we hit enter. Shoots us across the map, like so. Okay. And then there's our other door. And it should shoot us across the map, like so. Okay. Shift escape. All right, and really quickly, I'm going to double check our bounds box. So now our bounds box, believe it or not, is stretched across because we have these two blueprints working together on the same map, because they're actually on the same map. This is our teleport level. Okay, so that gives us the ability to stretch across the streaming area to load up certain areas. Okay, like so. Now, when you start getting map heavy and intensive, sometimes these teleports, like I said, you could fall through the world. So you got to make sure that you set these teleport levels up to where you have these, so it'll quickly, instantly jump over and load the map. Or you'll find out as you experiment and as you build. Okay, so now that's one way to do it. And like I said, what we can do to make it so if it's straight across from each other, right, your door from your area, but sometimes it's not going to work out that way. So what you have to do, so like right here, you can do this. However, on our blueprint here, and I'm going to go type in trigger 2. I'm going to highlight trigger 2. I'm going to highlight the target box. I want to make sure, if you do this, you want to make sure that you adjust the other teleport target box outside of this box, so they're not overlapping too much. Okay, because you might have some issues, and you don't want that to occur. Now, like I said, if you don't have a door straight across from a map to another area, because it might not always work out that way, so I'm just going to highlight the landing box here. I'm going to move so you notice how I move the blueprint way across the map over there? Notice how our target box is moving? We don't want to do that, but if we need to move the target box, so, for instance, I click on teleport trigger test 1, go to the target box, it's way over here, and let's just say your dungeon, okay, starts at that door over there, but your dungeon is over here. You just move the target box to the area where that door is on your dungeon, and we should be able to teleport there. And then our exit of our dungeon is over here if we want, so to speak. Okay, so that's how teleports work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just quickly show you one more time. And you can have it without doors. I mean, you can put a particle effect in. You could put a stone stairway. Whatever you decide to do, the teleport will work like this. Okay. So this should send us over to the other side of the map there real quickly, away from our other door. Okay, so that's how it works, and it sent us to Crocodile Island. So it's time to run snow and hit our teleport and get out of Dodge. So quickly, I'm just going to go over here, and I'll show you what I mean by using other objects and things like that too. And we'll use our door to send us back. And there you have it. We're here. Okay, so now, say you don't want to use a door. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm just going to move teleport trigger 2 slightly over here out of the way. Okay, so I can concentrate on teleport trigger 1. All right, so you don't want to use a door. Okay, so you just go to the static mesh on your blueprint and you clear it like so. All right. And let's just say we'll throw down. We'll use the static mesh of the Kurox teleporter. So I'm just going to open this blueprint up real quick, and just for example, I just want to get the static mesh. I'm just going to open up the blueprint so I can actually get the static mesh, because I want to go looking for it because it might take too long to actually get it. and I really don't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to go to the sorcery fast travel and go there, boom, find the static mesh. There it is. I'm just going to grab it out. Okay. And like I said, for shits and giggles, this is just an example. You can set this up here like so. We got the Kurox teleporter here. I got my blueprint teleport. I'm just going to raise it up. It's going to raise my trigger or my target. So remember that when you move this blueprint, it's going to move your target area. So you're going to have to readjust your target box from your blueprint. So now my trigger box, because I'm not using a door, I'm going to go ahead and use the box extents. I'm going to go ahead and widen it, okay, like so. Oops, like so. That way, if my players decide to walk inside this thing, right, it's going to prompt them with the enter text, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hit play from here. And because I didn't adjust my target box, I'm going to show you what happens. So this is probably going to throw us off a little bit from where we were before. So I'm going to run up here. See how it says enter? And you could put a cool particle effect, a hovering aura, and just hit enter. Oops, I gotta go back because I gotta re-trigger it. And we should be able to go. Usually, oh, you know what? You probably have to set it up to where you hit a static mesh. I forgot all about that. So the only way to use this with the cool particle effect, sorry guys, I forgot. You gotta have a static mesh to do the trigger text. What you have to do is either set it up to where you're close to a mesh so when you do target it. I don't know if we can let's try triggering it from this pillar here real quick. Let's see what happens. If it don't work, what you do is you just disengage the text and you just engage the step on it, boom, you fly across the map. But what I'm going to do is do this. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. These take a little bit. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you got to have that door up to it, otherwise it won't fire off. So what we do is you take your blueprint and then you just turn off the interactable. And what you should be able to do is hit play from here. And now it should teleport us instantaneously as soon as we walk into the box, the trigger area. All right, so we go like this. And, well, hold on. I think you got to disable the FFIO text too, sorry. My bad. My bad, people. I do apologize. For that. Let's go ahead and try this one more time, and hopefully it doesn't make me look like a liar. I'm stuck. Hold on a second. That was weird. Okay, what's wrong with our blueprint now? Hold on. Give it a sec. You should be able to walk into it, and it's supposed to instantaneously. Okay, something's going on wrong. Something's going on wrong with the teleport. Hold on a second. Let me adjust it. That's the target box. That's the trigger box. Okay, so what's going on with our blueprint? Why is it doing weird stuff? Let's try this again. Sorry guys, this should not be doing this. You used to be able to just walk on these things without a static mesh. But there it goes. So it's just being the dev kit. And there you have it. So it teleported us. So like I said, you could have some cool magical aura. And it threw us a few feet to the right or left there. Okay. So that's how you use teleports. Alright, I'm trying to think of anything else I could cover on teleports. Like I said, to do the door thing, set it up. Also, I believe down here there's a lock tag in vaults. In vaults, put the name of the gameplay level here that should be locked. Actors will lock the vault based on the name of the gameplay. I have no idea what that stands for and what that is. I think those vaults, I believe that vault tag is something for SIPTA. So I don't believe we can actually use that for what we're doing. Okay. But yeah, so just remember to do the interact on a door. Just make sure these are checked. Oops. Make sure that it's interactable. The text on overlap, you can use the enter text or any one of these texts here, these generics here that they set. This used to work, but this is no longer works. This is they don't use this anymore. So Funcom disabled this. It's depreciated now, so it doesn't use it. So just do the FFIO text here, right? FIFO text, sorry, FIFO text, FIFO, the FIFO text, and yeah, that's pretty much it on teleports. Just experiment, play around with them. You can do a lot of cool stuff with those. They're kind of like Pippi. It's just with Pippi, the portals are just the same thing, but they're just a visual and what you can move around as an admin. Okay, so with the blueprint-based one, you can do that. Other than that, I think that's it, and we're at 31 minutes for teleports. So I knew that was going to take a little bit longer. But like I said, the bound box. That's why you put the teleports on their own separate level, like so. So if you have to move them, so you can tell right here the box is stretched because our teleport here, because I moved number 2 out here, you can see, etc. So yeah, our bound box is stretched because wherever our teleports are, it'll stretch it way across, so it's able to fire across that way. Okay, but you try to want to keep it from doing this. So you try to keep your teleports as straight as possible, just for on the safe side, performance sake. But it'll work. So alrighty, let me go ahead and head back over here. And something happened here. Hold on one second. I don't know what happened there, but that is a little bit bizarre. There we go, fixed it. Okay. All right, everybody. So that is at 32 minutes for this video. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, please contact me in Discord. Let me know, and I will try to help you, or in the Patreon community channel chat if you have any questions. So without that further ado, I think we have covered that, and I will see about covering the next few subjects for our next couple tutorials. So everybody, I hope you're enjoying these. Thank you for your support, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye, everybody.